For 3 years, this man has survived on nothing more than a single grain of rice each day. Every day, he endures the most grueling and filth-ridden labor within the sect, yet he feels neither hunger nor exhaustion, all because he had once stumbled upon a piece of jade, a pendant capable of accelerating the passage of time. When night fell, Chen Ping stealthily crept into the sect's spirit grain field. If he were caught by the sect, his death would be certain. I shall take only 1 grain of spirit rice. Surely no one will notice, he whispered to himself. He carefully plucked a single grain from the stalk and clenched it tightly in his palm. Just as Chen Ping prepared to retreat, a mutter drifted from the guard's hut nearby. The rhythmic snoring abruptly ceased. Chen Ping froze, not daring to move a muscle. He held his breath as the sounds of tossing, turning, and smacking lips echoed from the hut before the snoring resumed once more. Chen Ping exhaled a sigh of relief, though his back was drenched in a cold sweat and he dared not linger a moment longer. He immediately pressed his body against the ground, crawling back the way he had come. Gazing at the emerald-green spirit grain in his palm, Chen Ping withdrew the jade pendant from his robes. With a single thought, he entered the space within the jade, which contained a small patch of spirit soil. Chen Ping reached the center of the field, crouched down, and used his hands to displace the fertile black soil, carefully digging a small hollow. The pit was shallow, no deeper than half a finger, and he gently placed the precious seed inside. Before long, the spirit rice seed began to sprout. It has actually sprouted. It seems one cannot remain in that space for too long, or the mind cannot withstand the strain. This, perhaps, is the price one must pay for access to that realm. It is a steep price indeed, yet compared to the miraculous nature of that black soil, it is well worth it. Everyone up. Get up at once. What are you dawdling for? Today, the group assigned to feed the spirit beasts will head to the western pens. If you are late, I will skin you alive. Chen Ping scrambled to his feet and merged into the crowd of bleary-eyed laborers. He and several other indentured servants were rounded up, following silently behind Steward Wang, toward the stench-filled area at the western side of the Spirit Beast Peak. Before they had even drawn near, a pungent foul odor assaulted their senses. Chen Ping was issued a cleaver, its blade marred with patches of rust. Even the blade was warped, paired with a massive tattered basket. He followed the other emaciated laborers toward the weed-covered hillside outside the pigsty to cut grass. This task appeared simple, but only by doing it did one realize how grueling it truly was. The weeds on the hillside were both tough and dense, their roots intertwined in a complex web. Each strike of the dull blade sent vibrations that left the webbing between his fingers numb. Yet only a few stalks were severed. He was forced to bend low, channeling every ounce of his strength into each individual swing. Sweat quickly soaked through his thin, ragged garment, stinging his eyes as it dripped. His back ached as if it were about to snap. Each time he attempted to stand straight, it was an immense struggle. Having gathered less than half a basket, he trudged back to empty it beside the massive stone trough. "LeMay, what is this? Is this amount even enough to fill the gaps between its teeth? Go back and cut more. Do you not see the pigs are so hungry they are rooting at the sty? If you delay the growth of the spirit rice, can you bear the consequences?" Chen Ping looked at his lacerated arm, his lips trembling, but in the end he remained silent. He silently picked up the empty basket and the dull knife, then turned and headed back toward the hillside. The entire day was spent in such toil, traveling back and forth between the hillside and the pigsty. After a long day of grueling labor, Chen Ping was eager to see the state of the interior of the Spirit Valley. He entered. Upon stepping into the jade pendant space with just a single glance, Chen Ping was rooted to the spot in astonishment. In only one day, the seed had grown into a rice seedling over half a meter tall. Such a rate of growth was truly unbelievable. In the days that followed, Chen Ping continued his daily routine of cutting grass for the pigs. It was not until the 7th day that he entered the jade pendant space again. It was true grain. Grain that could fill his stomach. Grain that belonged entirely to him. 2 handfuls, 10 handfuls, 20 handfuls. A total of 6,000 plump grains of spirit rice. How should he deal with this spirit rice? Should he bring it out? No, that would be far too dangerous. The camp was filled with gossiping people. Once discovered, the consequences would be dire. Plant them here, that is right. Plant them all. 6,000 seeds in total. If every single one germinates, 1 acre of land could yield roughly 40,000 stalks of ordinary rice. Although the spirit rice planted here may grow larger and sturdier, planting 10,000 stalks should pose no issue. Should I sow only 1 seed per hole? That will not do. What if some fail to sprout? How many seeds would be reasonable for each pit? 6 seeds per pit will ensure that every single one produces a sprout. Sowing 6 seeds at a time, 1,000 pits will be enough to complete the task. Let us begin. Everyone says I am a man of bitter fate. Day after day spent trapped in the pigsty, yet they do not know the truth. Deep within my heart, I harbor a secret that allows me to gaze upon the starry sky, even while my body remains in hell. This secret stems from the ordinary-looking seeds held within my palm. 2, 3, 4, 1,000 pits, 6,000 seeds. This is a task that demands nothing less than absolute patience. 7 days, I only need to wait another 7 days. With this black soil and the jade pendant's dimension, I shall have the chance to ascend from a mere drudge disciple to an outer sect disciple. Only then will I have the opportunity to rescue my parents. 3 years ago, the sect discovered a mineral vein thousands of miles away. They were in desperate need of labor to enter the treacherous, danger-filled mines, all to secure a chance at survival for their frail son. Even if it meant performing the most menial labor as the lowest-ranking drudge, it was still better than starving to death outside or serving as a slave in those mines. Chen Ping's parents signed a life-and-death contract, effectively selling themselves. They entered the mines, trading their own lives to secure for Chen Ping a position in the Qingyun sect as a drudge disciple. That night, Chen Ping gazed at the jade pendant in his hand, his thoughts stirring. Splendid, I have succeeded. In just a few days, 6,000 young seedlings will transform into mature spirit rice. Harvesting 6,000 stalks of spirit rice by hand, prying them out with a hard wooden stick, it is far too slow and the efficiency is abysmal. I need a sickle, and once the rice is harvested, it must be threshed rather than rubbing each grain off by hand. How long would it take to thresh 6,000 stalks of rice? I require proper tools for threshing. Such tools exist within the sect, but as a lowly drudge within the sect, if one is caught stealing, the light punishment is to have one's limbs crippled and be expelled from the mountain gates. The heavy punishment is to be executed on the spot. But what choice is there if one does not steal? To obtain the tools necessary for harvesting the grain, Chen Ping stealthily snuck into the sect's agricultural supply warehouse. I need a sickle and a threshing machine. Ah, I have successfully stolen them. It is just that the larger the object, the greater the toll it takes on my own body. I have the sickle now and the threshing machine as well. Frequently moving items in and out of the spatial dimension, my body cannot endure it. I suppose I will just wait until the spirit grain is ripe before entering again. On the 7th day, Chen Ping entered the jade pendant's dimension once more. Success, everything has fully ripened. The threshing machine. From now on, I will no longer have to risk my life for a mere bite to eat. I will never have to suffer through hunger again. This is certainly incomparable to any ordinary food. Only with a healthy body can I have the strength to complete my labor duties outside, saving both stamina and time. The time and energy saved can be used to practice the cultivation of vitality technique. The cultivation of vitality is a manual provided by the sect to every miscellaneous disciple for the purpose of tempering their physical body. It is just that the miscellaneous disciples never have the time, nor the physical strength to practice it. Now that Chen Ping has an endless supply of spirit rice, he finally has the conditions required to practice. Once I practice the cultivation of vitality, my strength will increase, the labor will become easier, and I will have more time to rest. This is a virtuous cycle. I must live well, and I must live with the dignity of a human being. All of this I shall teach you. Oh look, Chen the Lump managed to carry half a basket today. Did you steal a snack last night? Protect the primal essence. Focus the mind on the Dantian, piercing mountain, exploring the sea. Along with the practice of the cultivation of vitality, Chen Ping's steps gradually became lighter, and his strength grew significantly. Haha, with this spirit grain, it will not be long before I can become a regular disciple of the sect. That day, just as Chen Bing poured the hog feed into the trough, several brawny menial disciples who frequently bullied him deliberately kicked a large bucket of dirty water in front of him and ordered him to go empty it. How strange, where does this sickly wretch find such strength? The longevity technique is truly worth the effort. I never expected my physical strength to increase to such an extent. This change is far too conspicuous and will easily invite disaster. I must be more cautious in the future. The longevity technique is truly worth the effort. I never expected my physical strength to increase to such an extent. This change is far too conspicuous and will easily invite disaster. I must be more cautious in the future. But it cannot be helped. I believe that very soon I shall be able to fulfill the requirements of the Changyi sect disciples. Chen Bing, I see that your spirits have been quite good lately. Your strength has increased as well. Reporting to the steward, it is all thanks to your excellent guidance. This lowly one would never dare to be lazy. Would never dare to be lazy. I see that you are indeed very diligent. Since you have such strength, go and thoroughly clean the backsty at the edge of the forest on the northern hillside. The northern hillside, steward? I have heard that the northern hillside is not safe. There are wild boars there. Are you afraid? Aren't you quite strong? You can even carry a stone mill, yet you are afraid of a few beasts? Have you reached the point where you can no longer be ordered around by me? Steward Wang has set his sights on me. Either he suspects that I have been stealing resources, or he simply finds me an eyesore because I am no longer as easy to bully as before, and he wishes to crush me down once again. This lowly one would not dare. To resist now would only invite more brutal beatings. I might even be beaten to death on the spot. Then go. Before night falls, you must have it thoroughly cleaned for me. If you dare to be lazy or leave it unclean, Hump, you know the consequences. Why are you still standing there? Still dallying? Get moving quickly. He could not allow others to discover that he had slain this wild boar. The meat of a wild boar is precious and possesses great benefits for cultivation. Once these tasks were completed, he dragged his exhausted body, reeking of foul odors, and made his way step by step back to his humble, dilapidated shack. Upon reaching the shack, he lacked even the strength to fetch water for a wash. He could only hastily tear off his tattered, grime-stained outer garment and curl up on the cold bed of straw. Chen Ping, you useless wretch, where are you hiding? Is the work at the pigsty finished yet? Chen Ping. Steward Wang. Look at your pathetic appearance. It is certain you haven't finished your duties. You piece of trash, I told you to clean the pigsty yesterday, yet you have dawdled until now, covered in filth and urine. What an unlucky sight. Steward Wang, the work is not yet finished. Yesterday, a large wild boar charged into the sty, and it nearly took my life. I barely managed to escape. My arm was also injured by its tusks. A wild boar. Yes, there was indeed quite a commotion. I was standing far away and could not see clearly. Rip. A wild boar. Where would a wild boar come from to enter the pigsty? I see that you are merely lazy and playing tricks. Are you fabricating such nonsense to deceive me? Or did you damage the pigsty yourself and now wish to place the blame on a wild boar? You base, low-born creature. Your courage has grown quite large, hasn't it? If the work is not finished, it is not finished. Stop making excuses. Today, right this instant, get yourself to the stone quarry behind the mountain and haul stones for me. If you do not haul at least 100 slabs, do not even think about returning. If you dare to slack off, you... He had taken notice of me, and it was not because of the wild boar incident. Nor was it because the pigsty had not been cleaned thoroughly. It was because my strength had increased, and my physique had grown more robust. He suspected that I had stolen something, or encountered some extraordinary fortune. From this day forward, the path ahead would only become more treacherous. Heave ho, heave ho. Returning to his shack in the evening, Chen Ping struggled to suppress his surging anger, burying this hatred deep within his heart. Only when the night was deep and the scarred overseer who kept watch over him had fallen into a heavy sleep did Chen Ping finally find a moment to breathe, dragging his body, which was exhausted to the point of collapse. Chen Ping entered the jade pendant space and lunged toward the pile of spirit rice like a starving wolf. He ravenously devoured large mouthfuls of the spirit rice. His fractured arm bones were being steadily nourished by the spirit grain, their rate of recovery accelerating rapidly. After finishing his meal, he did not rest immediately, but instead began practicing the longevity technique within this confined space. Only by gaining greater strength could he resist the persecution of Overseer Wang, and only then could he hope to survive. As the days passed, the ruthlessness hidden within Chen Ping's marrow was fully awakened by the relentless pressure exerted by Overseer Wang. One late night, as per his routine, he entered the jade pendant space to consume rice and practice his techniques. After finishing his cultivation, he habitually cast a glance at the items piled in the corner of the space. Wait a moment, the wild boar meat I brought in here has been here for nearly a month. Why is this meat still so fresh? Ah, it hasn't spoiled at all. Of course, items within the jade pendant space do not decay. Whether it is spirit rice or ordinary flesh and blood, truly the heavens are helping me. My physical strength is now nearing the requirements for the examination to become an outer disciple. One afternoon, Chen Ping was on a steep slope at the back of the mountain, clearing away overgrown thorn bushes while the scarred overseer, as usual, was napping on a cool rock not far away. Suddenly, a strange ripple of energy swept across the entire laboring disciple peak. Ah, an immortal. A true immortal has descended upon the laboring disciple peak. Exalted Immortal, your arrival at the laboring disciple peak honors us. Please forgive this lowly one for failing to greet you from afar. My sins are grave, my sins are grave. May I ask what instructions the Exalted Immortal has? This lowly one is Wang Yu Huo, and I am willing to serve the Exalted Immortal with the loyalty of a dog or horse. I am under orders from the elders to patrol the spiritual energy nodes of the various peaks. Recently, the Sect's Oversight Division detected abnormal fluctuations in the spiritual energy concentration around the Miscellaneous Chores Peak, and has arrived to investigate. I must stay at the Miscellaneous Chores Peak for a few days. I require 2 servants who are quick-witted and possess pure minds. Then, select these 2. It is their great fortune to serve an exalted immortal. Lord Chu, please feel free to issue your commands. The arrival of an immortal has finally sent ripples through the stagnant waters of the Miscellaneous Chores Peak. Steward Wang was too busy currying favor with the immortal to pay any attention to Chen Ping, which provided Chen Ping with additional time to practice his nourishment technique. Aided by the spirit bone and wild boar meat, Chen Ping's cultivation progress accelerated, and he finally tempered his physical strength to 500 caddies, reaching the requirements for a standard miscellaneous disciple of the sect. Have you heard? Lord Chu said that it isn't just our area. The spiritual energy across the entire sect seems to be thinning. Is that true? No wonder the Immortal has been investigating for so long without finding a lead. It turns out the problem is on a macro scale. Of course, when the Immortal was speaking with Steward Wang, I managed to overhear a few things. I heard that the sect's grand formation is operating sluggishly, which is hindering the cultivation of the high-ranking elders, and that is why they have dispatched people everywhere to patrol the energy nodes. How could mere mortals like us understand the mysteries of the gods? The decline of the sect's spiritual energy It occurred exactly 2 months after I received the jade pendant. Is this not a bit too coincidental? This node shows no obvious anomalies. The fluctuations in spiritual energy are likely related to the overall shift in the sex grand formation. I must return to the Deacon Hall to report. Chen Ping, are you deaf? The immortal has already departed. A piece of trash like you no longer holds any value. Get out to the back mountain now. Clear away that patch of thorns within 3 days. If you fail to finish, I will have your hide. Did you hear me? Useless trash. Get out of my sight at once. Steward Wang. As for the clearing of the thorn bushes, you should find someone else to do it. What did you say? Are you courting death? My duties are already completed. I intend to descend the mountain now. Descend the mountain? Are you trying to run away? I am going to find the steward at the base of the mountain to participate in the handyman disciple assessment. The assessment? Relying on yourself? A cripple with a broken arm like you thinks he can become a handyman. I think you have lost your mind. Keep him here and break his legs for me. Steward Wang, the assessment window is limited. I must take my leave now. What is the matter? Disciple Chen Bing requests to undergo the handyman disciple assessment. You have come down from the mountain? Yes. Are you aware of the rules? You must lift the stone weight above your head once. Every year many people from the handyman peak come to try their luck, but most cannot even lift the stone weight. Luck, not bad. Take this token, a handyman disciple's identity token and the corresponding attire. Go to the western quarters and find an empty shed to reside in. Tomorrow morning, at the hour of the rabbit, report to the stone. Steward Lee, I am here to report for duty. Thank you, Steward. Remember this, once you become a regular servant, your duties will become heavier and the rules will be more stringent. Are you a new arrival? You have a decent amount of strength for a newcomer. Start breaking the stones. You must break these large boulders into smaller pieces, each the size of a fist, and they must be uniform. That pile over there is for the finished work, and this side is for the stones yet to be processed. The daily quota is 5 portions. Work ends at the hour of the monkey. If you do not complete your quota, your wages will be deducted. The task remains unfinished. With my current strength and skill, 3 portions is my limit. I only need to adapt for a few more days. With the spiritual rice and meat from my spatial dimension to replenish my strength, I will certainly be able to meet the quota. I must practice the health preservation technique 5 times every day. Only then will I have the capacity to continue my advancement. And as for Steward Wang, who has always targeted me, I will surely make him pay the price. Chen Ping very quickly adapted to his work at the stone quarry. That day, Chen Ping was diligently using his hammer to break stones. From the corner of his eye, he caught a glimpse of Steward Wang stealthily entering the quarry entrance. Steward Wang, what is he doing here? Chen Ping, stop your work, pack your belongings, and report to the Spirit Stone Mine. They are short of hands over there. Head over this afternoon. The air in the Spirit Stone Mine was filled with an eerie, sinister aura. Those who work there experience a gradual deterioration of the body, coughing up blood and suffering from rotting flesh, until they eventually perish in silence within some remote mine shaft. They are then wrapped in a tattered reed mat and discarded. Among all the tasks for servant disciples, that place has the highest mortality rate. That Steward Wang is certainly behind this, that wretched bastard. You, the newcomer Chen Ping, the rules here are very simple. Descend into the mine and excavate the raw ore. Each person has a monthly quota of 100 jin. If you fail to meet it, your spirit stones will be deducted, and if you fail for 3 consecutive months, you will either be expelled or die inside. Consider yourself unlucky. Do not even think about slacking off, and do not attempt to hoard anything for yourself. If the guards catch you, you will be beaten to death on the spot. Do you understand? I understand. Get inside. Mining shaft number 7. This place is more suffocating than I had imagined. The rumors regarding the toxic phosphorescent ore are true. The air within this mine is saturated with lethal toxins. The longer one lingers, the deeper the poison takes hold. My head is spinning, my vision is blurred, and my limbs are heavy as if burdened by giant boulders. Neither spiritual rice nor meat can fully neutralize the toxins from the phosphorescent ore. Even the effectiveness of my health-nourishing technique has diminished significantly. This will not do. I must depart from this place or I shall not survive another 3 months. In this wretched hellhole, if I continue to labor for another 2 months, I fear I shall cough my life away right here. I must conserve my strength. Gathering enough spirit stone to exchange for a single stalk of green spirit grass is the priority. That is easier said than done. One must slave away to extract 100 caddies of ore just to obtain 2 spirit stones. A stalk of green spirit grass costs 5 spirit stones, a price representing 2.5 months of labor, yet it is still better than succumbing to this poison. It is said that consuming that herb not only dispels the toxins but also increases one's physical strength. Pardon me, brothers, I overheard you discussing green spirit grass. What exactly is it? Can it truly neutralize the toxins in this mine? You are new here, are you not, little one? It is a spiritual herb used by the sect's medicinal hall specifically to treat the toxins found in this mine. It is said to be immensely beneficial for the bodies of us mortals. Is it truly that miraculous? If so, where does one acquire it? Is it expensive? Expensive, you ask? It is far more than just expensive. It costs 5 spirit stones per stalk. We risk our lives for an entire month mining 100 caddies of ore just to earn 2 spirit stones. Is there no cheaper alternative? For instance, could one plant the seeds themselves? The seeds are indeed slightly cheaper, but what purpose would that serve? Even if I were to give you the seeds, would you be able to grow them? Spiritual herb seeds require a spiritual field and must be nourished by spiritual energy. A spiritual field and spiritual energy is the interior of my jade pendant not a spiritual field? And does it not possess spiritual energy? Wages, I need my wages. I must ensure I receive my pay for this month. 1 spirit stone to purchase a seed of green spirit grass. With this single seed, he planned to cultivate an entire field of Qingling grass. However, the rate of his body's decline was far more rapid and severe than he had anticipated. Chen Ping carried 100 jin, then exceeded it to 113 jin for a total of 3 spirit stones. Respected sirs, if I may ask, where can one purchase Qingling grass seeds? Master Immortal. This lowly one wishes to purchase Qingling grass seeds. I have heard that you sell Qingling grass seeds for 1 spirit stone apiece, though common soil cannot sustain their growth. You must consider this carefully. This lowly one understands. I implore the Immortal to grant me a single seed. I wish to try my luck just once. Master Immortal, I wish to purchase 2 more. As you wish. It is better to let you give up on this delusion. If they fail to sprout, do not blame me for not warning you. Does the soil within this mysterious space truly qualify as spirit soil? Chen Ping remained within the space for a long time, but the seeds refused to germinate. Exhausted and disheartened, he had no choice but to depart. The following day, after his shift, Chen Ping sprinted back to his tent and immediately entered the jade pendant's inner space. Success. It was a true success. This black soil, and indeed this entire space, was capable of cultivating Qingling grass. This was far more than a mere herb. This was his guarantee for survival, the sole lifeline that would allow him to escape this mining hell. Qingling grass matures in 12 months and seeds in 24. The growth rate within this space is 12 times faster than in the outside world. If all went according to plan, the 3 Qingling grass stalks would mature simultaneously. During the long wait for the grass to mature, the deterioration of Chen Ping's body grew faster and more violent than he had foreseen. Deep in the mines, with every swing of his pickaxe, the muscles in his arms strained in protest, and with every bend to lift the ore, his spine groaned under the immense strain. By the 2nd month, mining had become an arduous ordeal for Chen Ping. The quota of 100 jin of raw ore had become a mountain that felt nearly impossible to scale. His movements grew sluggish and his efficiency plummeted, often taking him twice as long as the others to barely gather the required amount. That day, from a distance, he spotted Steward Wang standing beside the mining district overseer. The two were whispering to one another. Chen Ping, last month, if you fail to meet the quota again this month, according to the rules, I will have no choice but to expel you from the sect. Steward Wang, since you are currently being forced out of the sect, is that not essentially passing a death sentence upon yourself? Cough, Brother Chen, how did you end up in such a wretched state? This mine is your place for a human to reside. Look at how you have been ravaged into such a miserable state. Little brother, I have been quite curious about this for some time now. Back when you were in the miscellaneous service peak, you were clearly as weak as a fledgling, so how did you suddenly become so resilient? Your strength has increased with astonishing speed. Tell me, did you stumble upon some hidden treasure? Or perhaps you encountered some unique stroke of fortune? As long as you are willing to share this secret with your elder brother, I guarantee that I will immediately have you transferred from this hellish place. I shall arrange a job for you that is both light and safe. There will be no shortage of spirit stones for you. Follow me, and I guarantee you will live in luxury. Wouldn't that be better than waiting for death in this wretched place? Even being a loyal dog by my side would be 100 times better than your current plight, wouldn't you agree? You ungrateful wretch. I offer you face, yet you do not know how to be grateful. Very well. Let us see just how long you can maintain that stubbornness. If you fail to complete your task next month, I will personally see to it that the steward throws you out of this sect like a dead dog. By then, even if you kneel and lick the soles of my boots, I will not spare you a single glance. You can cling to your pathetic little secret and crawl back to the mortal realm to await your end. 3 months later, Chen Ping entered the Jade Pendant's internal space once more. It is a success. It has truly matured. This is nothing short of a masterpiece from the heavens. What is happening? Could it be that it has no effect at all? The brothers in the mine have no reason to deceive me. Ah, it truly does have an effect. They did not lie to me. This is the immense medicinal power of the green spirit herb. I cannot let it go to waste. The next day, while Chen Ping was excavating in the mines, he suddenly discovered that he could lift a boulder weighing over 700 caddies. The green spirit herb is truly extraordinary. Not only did it neutralize the mineral toxins, but it also increased my physical strength by 100 caddies. This matter must not be taken lightly. Manager Shang, that poisonous snake, was still glaring at him. It was the final day of the month to submit the task. Chen Ping hunched his back and handed over the 100 jin of spirit stones he had mined over the course of the month. This brat failed to meet the quota last month and looked like he was on the verge of death. Yet this month he managed to fulfill it exactly. Is it a flash in the pan? No, I must report this to Manager Wang lest that stingy old man speaks ill of me to our superiors. Haha, manager, you have worked hard. You have worked hard. That sickly wretch, Chen Ping. How much did he submit? Did he even manage 50 jin? 100 jin. What? He managed to reach 100 jin? It is weighed right there. Surely he could not fake it. The toxins have seeped into his very marrow, and he can barely stand. How could he have precisely mined 100 jin? Could it be that he truly possesses some secret life-preserving technique? Or perhaps he has been hoarding miscellaneous items to trade for medicine? Let us see how long you can hold out. When you can no longer endure and come crawling to me like a dog, I will settle the score with interest. I will strip you to the bone, and your cultivation progress will eventually be mine. Haha, after a month of constant deception and covert labor, the toxins of the Guanglin ore began to act again. As they accumulated within Chen Ping's body, he took out the jade pendant and entered the space within. This is the seed formed after the medicinal essence of the Kingling herb dissipated. 47-48. These two spirit fruits total 48 seeds, neither more nor less. Chen Ping planted all 48 Qingling herb seeds and then began to circulate his life-nurturing manual. He wanted to test how much his physical strength had increased this time. Chen Ping returned to the stone yard. This time, he was able to lift the 700 jin boulder with ease and stability. The distance to reaching 1000 jin was no longer far. When that time comes, I will participate in the assessment for managing disciples. I shall contend for the position of a manager. The days passed quietly amidst his deception and the silent accumulation of strength. On this day, an unforeseen event shattered the deathly stillness of the mining area. Old miner Zhongxi, who was usually reticent and spoke little, suddenly charged out like a frenzied beast, having completely lost his reason. What terrifying strength! The poison from the Lin ore had completely shattered his sanity, yet it simultaneously wrung out the final remnants of his life force. Useless. The immortal practitioner responsible for guarding this mine had also arrived within the mine cavern. The old man has lost his mind. He actually dares to confront an immortal head-on. This is the method of an immortal. It is entirely beyond the resistance of mortal physical strength. In the face of this flame, a force of 800 jin is not even worth a mockery. Steward Wang deserves to die, but what if Steward Wang is killed? Before such power, mortals are nothing but grass and ants. I must possess that flame as well. I must become an immortal. In the days that followed, Chen Ping was even more meticulous in playing the part of a sickly man with lung disease. A month of time passed in a state of feigned indolence and procrastination. Clearly a sickly man on the brink of death, how is it that he manages to contribute exactly 100 jin every month? There is certainly a trick inside. I must uncover this windfall myself first. I absolutely cannot let that greedy Steward Wang find out. 30 stocks are enough for me to absorb non-stop for the next 2 months, and the remaining 18 stocks will be kept for seeds to ensure endless reproduction. There is no longer a need to look at the expressions of those immortal practitioners. After 2 months, Chen Ping had absorbed all 30 stalks of Qingling grass. His physical strength increased from 700 jin to 800 jin. Then it reached 1,000 jin, and finally, it even surged to 2,000 jin. On the morning of the third day, after spending 3 full months in the mining area, Chen Ping stepped out of the shack. Following the rugged mountain path, he quietly made his way toward the peak of Zei Peak. Disciple Chen Ping, a common miner from the mining district, has come to request the examination for a managing disciple. A common miner? What is your physical strength? Reporting to the steward, this disciple's strength is passable. Go, use all your strength and strike it with one punch. Aim for the chest area. What kind of material is this made of? What consequences will follow if I strike it? Why does this training dummy not even budge? Could it be that this material is so durable that even a force of 2,000 jin cannot move it in the slightest? Oh, 1,997 jin, not bad, far exceeding the 1,000 jin threshold. This is your identification token and the uniform of a management disciple. From this day forward, you are officially a management disciple of Miscellaneous Service Peak. Your monthly stipend is 2 low-grade spirit stones. On the 5th day of every month, use this token to collect them from the storehouse at the mountain peak. Furthermore, this is a strength-enhancing pill. The sect issues 1 pill to every management disciple each year. It can consolidate your foundation, replenish your essence, and strengthen your vigor and blood. If you use it sparingly, the results will be quite satisfactory. A stipend of 2 spirit stones per month plus a strength-enhancing elixir once a year. This treatment is 100 times better than working as a lowly laborer in the mines. This is the advantage one gains through power and status. I thank the steward for this. Here is the list of available posts for management disciples at the various commercial districts. Choose a place where you would like to assume your duties. Inform me once you have made your decision. The beast pen, the weaving workshop, the spirit grain storehouse, the charcoal furnace, the cleaning house. Those places are all management roles overseeing miscellaneous servants, with each location housing dozens of laborers, yet they offer absolutely no additional stipends. The 100 Herb Garden is where the sect cultivates spiritual herbs. As long as there is a spiritual vein and spiritual soil, spiritual herbs will grow. Even if they are just the most ordinary seeds, planting them within my jade pendant space would surely be a heaven-sent opportunity. Steward, I wish to be assigned to the 100 Herb Garden. The 100 Herb Garden, is it? Very well. It is a tranquil place where the work is somewhat more meticulous, very suitable for someone with your frail constitution. I have one more matter I do not quite understand, and I hope the steward can enlighten me. I wish to have my spirit root tested. To do so, one must first become a registered disciple of the sect. I do not know what the requirements are for this spirit root examination, nor where it is conducted. Physical strength is merely a foundation for surviving in the mundane world. The spirit root is the true key to unlocking the gates of the immortal path. The requirements? The examination of one's spirit root is simple enough. Come to the Internal Affairs Hall and submit 5 low-grade spirit stones. I shall test you then. 5 low-grade spirit stones. A single low-grade spirit stone is worth 100 spirit coins. Thus, 5 stones equate to 500 spirit coins. This is not merely a condition, it is a stark, unbridgeable chasm. 500 spirit coins are what those high and mighty immortals use to draw a line between life and death for all the mortals at the bottom. Only by paying the price does one earn the right to know if they possess the affinity for immortality. If one cannot pay, they are destined to wallow in the mire for their entire life. I labor and risk my life for an entire month just to earn 2 or 3 spirit coins. 500 spirit coins would take me over 20 years to accumulate. More than 20 years, there are too many variables, too long a wait. If you have your answer, then leave. The 100 Herb Garden is located behind the mountain. Find your own way there. The medallion holds a restriction. Once you arrive, someone will receive you. 500 spirit coins over 20 years. To a mortal, that is a dream from which one can never wake. But I am different. I possess the jade pendant space. It is not a dream, but a target I can reach in a short span of time. At the 100 Herb Garden, as long as I can gain access to spirit herbs and utilize the jade pendant space, I can find a shortcut to power. This must be the 100 Herb Garden. This shall also be the starting point from which I truly step into the immortal gate. This must be the newly appointed steward, correct? This old man is Wang Deifa. I am the servant in charge of this 100 Herb Garden. I have been expecting you, steward. Uncle Wang, there is no need for such formalities. My name is Chen Ping, and having just arrived, I will need to rely on you all in the days to come. I wouldn't dare. Please, sir, follow me. Steward Chen, this is your quarters. Sir, your 8 subordinates are currently busy with tasks in the garden. I shall go and summon them to pay their respects to you immediately. There is no need to rush. Tell me about the rules of the garden first. The daily chores consist of watering, fertilizing, weeding, and removing pests, yet these tasks are incredibly meticulous. Steward, every single spirit herb in this garden is recorded in ledgers, personally overseen by the immortal masters from the mountain peak. If one fails to tend to them properly, causing them to wither or their medicinal properties to diminish, the punishment is light if you are merely reprimanded, but grave if you lose your life. As expected, the bread of an immortal is not easy to earn. Risk and opportunity always walk hand in hand. The rules are strict, yet the opportunity to be in direct contact with spirit herbs is far greater. A cold, piercing gaze swept over him. On this person was an aura that did not belong to the dangerous atmosphere of this servant peak. And who is that person? Reporting to the overseer, that is Overseer Z. He arrived half a year before you and is responsible for managing the cold-natured spirit herbs in the east. He was dispatched directly by the main peak. It is said he has a notable background and his temperament is exceptionally cold. He rarely speaks to us on ordinary days, focusing solely on his own herb fields. Dispatched directly by the main peak, you say? No wonder his aura is so distinct. Someone with such a mysterious background and unfathomable strength is best kept at a respectful distance. Overseer, since you have just arrived, the most urgent task is to familiarize yourself with the types and characteristics of all the spirit herbs in the garden. You must absolutely avoid making any mistakes. This was bestowed upon you by the great immortal master of the main peak. It is a copy of the 100 Herbs Illustrated Manual, which records all the spirit herbs currently in the garden, detailing their appearances, names, growth characteristics, and crucial points for their cultivation. Along with the methods for preventing common pests and diseases, you must commit all of this to memory as quickly as possible. An immortal destiny. This is the very immortal destiny I have longed for. With this manual, combined with my jade pendant and the black soil within that space, I will have an inexhaustible supply of spirit herbs. Meeting the threshold of 5 low-grade spirit stones will be as easy as turning over my palm. I may even be able to use them myself to forcibly elevate my aptitude. I must make a grand move indeed. Wang Ba, lead me to inspect the area I am responsible for and introduce me to everyone. Understood, Overseer. Please this way. Everyone, gather here. This is Chen Ping, our newly appointed Overseer Chen. From now on, you will all be under the guidance of Overseer Chen. You are responsible for the herb fields in the Western Garden, so pay close attention. Greetings, Overseer Chen. No need for formalities. My name is Chen Ping. We shall be working together from now on. As for the rules of the garden, surely Wang Ba has already explained them all to you. I will only say one thing, guard the herbs under your charge well. No one can shoulder this burden alone. Simply proceed with the necessary tasks as you always have. Steward, this is Li Yudian, a man well versed in the cultivation of medicinal herbs. This is Zhao Shitu, whose strength surpasses that of ordinary men, and this is Sun Xiaohai, who possesses a keen eye. These individuals form the foundation upon which I shall secure control over the medicinal garden. Used correctly, they are invaluable assets. Mishandled, they are nothing but a nuisance. Steward Chen, this area is dedicated to the red sunflower. Observe, the edges of the leaves are turning crimson, indicating that harvest is imminent. One must be particularly vigilant against pests. This sector contains hemostatic vines. The vines are highly resilient, yet one must diligently inspect the ropes securing the trellises. And this area contains dew-condensing grass. The crystalline beads upon the leaves are the essence of its medicinal potency. When watering, one must never allow the liquid to touch the leaves. It must be applied slowly, allowing the soil to absorb it from the roots. Steward, this spirit-gathering paste has potent medicinal properties. The dosage must be strictly calibrated. If applied too close to the roots or in excess, it can cause the roots to rot instantly. If too little is used, it will have no effect at all. This work demands 100-fold more patience and precision than breaking stones in the mines. The possessions of the immortals are truly precious. Having witnessed the genuine spiritual herbs of the immortals, these items, which mortals consider supreme treasures, are nothing more than common weeds not worth mentioning. Once I have established a firm foothold in this 100-herb garden and obtained superior spiritual herb seeds, this plot of land will truly manifest its heaven-defying value. In the following days, Chen Ping's life fell into a strictly disciplined routine. During the day, he patrolled the medicinal fields under his jurisdiction, clutching the 100-herb illustrated manual in his hands. Whenever he had a spare moment, he would flip through the pages, wondering, what pest does this red sunflower fear most? Steward, the most troublesome is the fire-tooth worm, red-headed with a black back, which specializes in draining the sap from young leaves. One must spray them with a decoction of tobacco leaves. And what of the cold essence grass? I read in the book that it rarely suffers from pests. It is indeed rare, but last year it suffered from an infestation of bonefrost worms. These pale, translucent larvae hide on the underside of the leaves to gnaw on the veins. That variety fears heat. One must pick them off by hand one by one. It is an arduous task. A month has already passed, and the immortal master from the mountain peak only descends to inspect once at the beginning of each month. With common low-tier specimens like the blood demon vine and the dew-condensing grass, so long as no major damage occurs to the vital parts, no one will notice any discrepancies. The time is ripe. This vine has truly flourished. Judging by this hue, the medicinal properties must have sufficiently accumulated, correct? Steward, this is an aged vine. The dark brown bark of this mature vine is the primary ingredient for refining superior-grade blood recovery pills. The masters at the peak hold this in high regard, yet this vine has grown far too densely. It lacks ventilation. Look here, does this part not show signs of mold? Good heavens, this appears to be the harbinger of rot disease. We must attend to it immediately. If it spreads and the immortal master blames us, do not panic. Simply excise the infected section. Go to the tool shed and fetch some cleansing herbal paste to seal the incision. The cut must be perfectly smooth. Yes, I shall go retrieve it at once. It must be pruned exactly here. My deepest gratitude for your guidance, steward. Otherwise, this lowly life of mine would surely have been forfeited. Be more vigilant in the future. Cuttings. As long as I can produce cuttings, this vine will undoubtedly thrive within the black soil. Survival, it only needs to survive. This plot of land is my boundless treasure trove. These plants have grown too thick. They are consuming all the nutrients. Uproot the weakest among them. This soil has become compacted. It must be tilled to allow for aeration, but one must take care not to damage the primary roots. Whether it be broken vines, seedlings, or excess roots, this black soil can forcibly accelerate their growth, yet this speed is still insufficient. What would happen if I were to introduce true spirit spring water into the mix? With spirit spring water for irrigation, this growth rate is nearly 20 times faster than the outside world. My physical strength has nearly reached 3,000 jin. I have reached the absolute limit of the mortal martial path. The medicinal potency of the green spirit grass no longer has any effect on my constitution. Now is the time. The bottleneck has begun to waver. This is the true spirit medicine of the immortals. A single leaf is worth 100 stalks of green spirit grass. That is the true essence of immortal techniques. He is not merely a steward, but a registered disciple who has already come into contact with immortal cultivation manuals. It was a withered leaf that had fallen from that diseased plant. While examining it closely during the day, by a stroke of pure coincidence, it fell into the fold of my robes. If this leaf could survive, then I would possess a ladder to the heavens, a direct path to the Tao of immortality. Every day after returning to the stone hut, aside from practicing the nourishing exercise technique out of unwavering habit, I would inspect the state of the treasures within my spatial dimension. The dew-condensing grass was thriving, and the sapling of the crimson sunflower had also grown into a small plant. a sprout with two young slightly crimson leaves. Finally, he turned his gaze toward the withered leaf of the cold star grass. 3 years is too long, I can no longer wait. Since it could be propagated by root division, Chen Ping set out to separate the rhizomes of the dew-condensing grass. He successfully planted 10 additional stalks of dew-condensing grass. Using the same method, he also planted 8 stalks of cold star grass. After finishing the planting, he took the spirit spring water he had stored beforehand and watered each plant. He even specifically brought out the last of the cold pool water, reserved exclusively for the 3 cold star grass plants. In the blink of an eye, Chen Ping had been hiding in the 100 Herbs garden for 3 months. The medicinal potency of the dew-condensing grass has now become no different from plain water to me. The tempering of my physical body has reached a dead end. At this stage, the dew-condensing grass no longer has any effect on me. It is time to trade for spirit stones. Chen Ping began to inquire about how to exchange spirit herbs for spirit stones. Regrettably, the ordinary menial laborers were completely unable to access such secrets. Thus, Chen Ping turned his thoughts towards Steward Baiji. Uncle Wang, you have been in the garden for a long time. Do you know anything about Steward Baiji? For example, what are his preferences? Steward Bai, you ask? He appears quite cold and aloof. Ah, that's right. It seems he has a great fondness for sweets. I have seen him eating pastries several times. Even though cultivators are supposed to practice inanition, he still retains the mortal craving for sweets. This was the breakthrough he had been looking for. Chen Ping began to bring a few homemade pastries every day. He shared them among the menial laborers under the jurisdiction of the medicinal field. These sweet confections quickly won the favor of these men. Steward Bai, these red bean buns were just prepared. Please, have a taste. There is no need, you all should eat them. High vigilance is fine, but to tame a falcon, the most essential virtue is patience. I tried making steamed buns today. They turned out quite soft and fluffy. Steward Bai, please do try one. Steward Bai is much like the medicinal herbs in our garden. Apart from what must be handed over to the sect if there is a surplus, I wonder if there is a place outside where one might trade for some supplies. From here, follow the trail behind the Handyman's Peak and head north for about 50 miles. There is a small valley there. On the 1st and the 15th of every lunar month, a few nominal disciples and a small number of outer sect disciples gather to trade their items. Though the transactions there are simple, the quality is mixed, so you must be cautious. I have matters to attend to, so I shall take my leave. In his 4th month at the 100 Herb Garden, Chen Ping took out 20 stalks of condensation dew grass, preparing to make a trip to Blackstone Valley across 50 miles of snow-covered ground. With my current physical strength, I could dash there in half an incense stick of time, but I must absolutely avoid drawing any attention. It cannot be any less. At 15 years of age, the medicinal efficacy is nearly exhausted. I will trade this lightness talisman for 3 stalks of wind spirit grass. I do not have any wind spirit grass. Will condensation dew grass suffice? Condensation dew grass? Its medicinal properties are far too mild. 2 stalks of condensation dew grass for 1 spirit stone. 2 stalks for 1 spirit stone, that is 50 spirit essences per stalk. Are you interested in superior grade condensation dew grass? How much condensation dew grass do you have? These 20 herbs were harvested not long ago. Let me see the goods. Ah, top-tier quality. By the look of these, they were surely unearthed just moments ago. The appearance is decent, though the medicinal potency is rather mild. I will take the lot for 13 spirit stones. In that case, I shall ask elsewhere. Wait, hold on a moment. You truly are a tough negotiator, little brother. Says 50 spirit stones per plant. That makes 14 in total. Spirit stones, the hard currency of the cultivation world. Little brother, if you have more quality goods in the future, be sure to come to me. This fellow is truly strange, but his goods are undeniably genuine. Chen Ping returned to his stone chamber in the medicinal garden, retrieved the jade pendant, and entered the internal space. He placed the 14 spirit stones inside the jade pendant space. He had set aside 5 spirit stones for the spiritual root assessment at the Internal Affairs Hall. Finally, he had saved enough. In just a day or two, this batch of cold star grass would be ready for its 3rd division. I wonder if these spirit stones can assist in cultivation? After all, they are items of the immortal path. It is likely impossible to utilize them through mundane mortal methods. Chen Ping sighed inwardly and prepared to put the spirit stones away. Inadvertently, his finger brushed against the warm jade pendant at his chest and a faint white light flickered. It was as swift as an illusion. Chen Ping felt his palm go empty as the spirit stone vanished. Chen Ping bowed his head to search, but he could not find the spirit stone anywhere. It was then that he noticed the space where the cold star grass was planted at the perimeter. The gap between the cold star grass and the edge of the space had widened slightly. Could it be that spirit stones are capable of expanding the boundaries of this space? The jade pendant had absorbed the spirit stone, and in doing so it had expanded the space. I must stop. Checking my spiritual roots requires 5 spirit stones, and I must keep one for myself as a reserve. This is the absolute limit. I cannot jeopardize my foundation for mere immediate gains, or I will close the door to the path of immortality forever. The jade pendant absorbs the spirit stones to expand its internal space. A larger space means more medicinal herbs can be cultivated. These herbs can then be exchanged for more spirit stones. This is a perfect virtuous cycle, a new world of infinite possibilities. 4 months of seclusion, repeating the tedious tasks of separating seedlings thousands of times and trading in the black market. The foundation for my ascent is finally laid. It is time to have my spiritual roots tested. Chen Ping, the 100 Herb Garden, is there some matter you wish to discuss? Have there been any losses among the medicinal herbs? Reporting to the steward, all is well at the 100 Herb Garden. The medicinal herbs are thriving. Ha ha ha, I see. Then why have you come here? This disciple wishes to have his spiritual roots tested. I have already told you this once before. Do you truly know what kind of place this is? It is not as simple as merely opening your mouth if a lowly servant disciple wishes to test their spiritual roots. It requires 5 low-grade spirit stones. Without spirit stones, your pleas will be as useless as shouting at the heavens. Where did this boy even acquire these? Could he have stepped onto some crooked heretical path? Never mind, I will slowly investigate the origin of these spirit stones later. Follow me. This is the place where the immortals reside. Wing Hang 3 spiritual roots, primary wood, secondary earth and fire. The purity of the spiritual roots is low average. You may